All of you must have been told about the risks of GM foods caused from diet from GMO grass by CBS News. Briefly, it was about the grass that produces cyanide that kills the cows. For this, many people seriously consider about the risks of GM foods, and many scientists and environmentalists argued. However, a lot of research reveals that it is not a GMO, rather it was the hybrid crop. When I say this, someone could confuse about the hybrid and GMO. So what the difference between the hybrid and GMO? So it obviously shows that the wrong and negative recognition of GM foods. It would be right to some extent, but they also has some benefits that we did not know. Nowadays, there are a lot of GM foods that can affect our life and health, so it would be helpful if you listen my speech. To get some precise information, the facts of benefits and drawbacks of GM food, it would be better to understand what GMO is. So now I will tell you about what exactly GM food is and the difference with hybrid. Genetically modified organism simply shows a definition of GMO. It is a process of adding traits by changing their genes, organisms' genes. It includes artificial work, whereas hybrid could be acquired by chance in natural state, combining the qualities of two similar organisms. Yet it is hard to comprehend what GMO is and what hybrid is, so I will give you examples of hybrid and GMO. Among many GMO, such as microbes, mammals, invertebrates, and plants, especially crops, are the most influential organisms. You have been heard about GM corn at least once. There are three typical types. Their genes are artificially changed from bacteria or viruses to get the ability to grow safely. Herbicide resistant, insecticide producing, and drought resistant corn. As those names imply, they have ability to resist the danger of growing slowly or dead without the help of human. From this fact, you could know that GMO means that one plant or other things genes are replaced from heterogeneous organisms, as I said it. In the case of corn, their genes were changed from bacteria and viruses. However, hybrid could be occurred between the two similar organisms. It could be happen in natural state. There are so many hybrids, including mammal fruits, liger, grapefruit, and many flowers are the examples. They are just mixed in the situation of reproduction, and there are no or little technology. This could make clear distinction between GMO and hybrid that could be confused, and it would be helpful to appreciate the facts about pros and cons of GMO foods. Okay, then you're ready to hear what the two sides, pros and cons about GMO food claims. First, when you recall what I said, it'll be easier to the advantage. It increased the yield of crops. All of the traits that I said about corn prevent them from dying. Meta-analysis that aggregates and examines the results of 147 existing research studies looking at GM soybeans, maize, and cotton, and the world's biggest GM commodity crops. A pair of agricultural economists at Germany's University of Göttingen found that GM technology increased crop yield by 22% and reduced pesticide use by 37% and increased farmer profits by 68%. We can simply think about it. If a crop had a resistance of herbicide, farmer could easily get rid of the other grass that disrupts the growth of a crop by using the herbicide. It's so reasonable, and also the economic benefits for farmers who use genetically modified seeds amounted to an average more than 117 per hectare in 2012. According to a report, crops, global social and economic and environmental impacts released today by PG Economics. From these facts, we could know that GM foods bring us some advantages. Nonetheless, there are many opinions that contradict the advantages of GM foods. Potential risk factors to human health and the doubt about the advantages. Up to now, we could not know the exact side effects that influence our health. However, some research reveals the problems to some extent and the doubts about advantages. Firstly, the potential health problem, especially allergy. Scientists at University of Nebraska at Lincoln said tests proved that soybeans modified with genes from Brazil nuts to produce a nutritious protein found in the nuts also produce proteins that set off a strong, potentially deadly allergic reaction in people sensitive to Brazil nuts. Of course, all the foods can have risks of allergy that could be a serious problem. Yet, this research shows the confirmed evidence that GM foods can be a certain cause of allergy. And the doubts of advantages by Jack Henman, a professor of genetics at University of Canterbury in New Zealand. Overall, Henman's paper showed there has been no significant difference between the yields of GE corn and soy grown in the United States and non-GE varieties in Western Europe. In this study, G means genetic engineering, same as the GMO. In this respect, some people argue that GMO foods are very dangerous because of the risk of health and doubts of effectiveness. Still, there are many controversies about GM foods and lots of researches that contradict each other. Some doctors argue it's okay to eat them, others are not. If you listen to my full speech, how to deal with this problem is just your choice. No one blames you. Thank you for listening.